Hello people, this is Ryder here with a written review of the Avataro Sentai Donbrothers Donblaster MEMORIal EDITION. Released on Premium Bandai, this is an upscaled version of the DX toy released the year prior. Taking a look at the box, the front of it is in resemblance to the original DX packaging, just simpler. The sides present the contents of the set, and the back of the box has the recreation of the roll call scene from the final episode. Opening the setup, we have a plastic tray that is holding the Donblaster and the 6 Avataro gears. Of course, there is a QR code to access the PDF file for instructions. Looking at the Memorial Edition of the Donblaster, this is a 125% upscale of the original DX toy, close enough to prop scale. Just like the last two changers we looked at, the increased size feels nice in the hand. Besides that, while it looks like it has retained the look of the DX toy, the molding is actually different to make itself more screen accurate, most visibly with the barrage of screw holes that are not covered. But in terms of functionality, the big gear now is more fluid when you spin it as opposed to the choppiness of the DX one. Though, just don't spin it too fast or else you will grind the gears together. Taking a look at the Avataro gears included, we have the main 5 Donbrothers: Don Momotaro, Saru brother, Oni sister, Inu, and Kiji brothers. Unfortunately, they aren't too different from their DX counterparts, unless you want to point out that the paper inserts are different prints from their DX counterparts. But other than that, I can't really blame them. Lastly included is the Don Robotaro gear, which is also the same from its DX counterpart. However, it is now cast in a more yellow transparent plastic as opposed to a mustard yellow the DX one had prior. To turn the Donblaster on, you want to pull off the back cover of the handle and switch it on above the battery compartment, which takes 3 AAA batteries. After switching it on, we are in Memorial mode, but if you were to hold down the trigger button and switch it on, we are in DX mode, pretty self-explanatory. By itself in either mode, you can press the trigger button to fire and hold it down for a bigger blast attack. For the back buttons, the right one is the designated BGM button, containing 6 BGM tracks. Ore Kaso, only 1, TV size. Onigadeta, Donbrothers Iza Tatkai, Shonoyo wa Rakuden, Nana Mina and Tsutabase, Nayote Yo Dana, and Don't Boo Donbrothers TV size. As I brought up in the last review, the compression of these tracks are not as bad as the Gear Duelinger, but still not as pristine as the Gear Duelinger. The left button is the dialogue button for each mode, allowing you to play through a line to each character, in the exception of DX mode, where it just says one phrase all the time. To switch between modes, simply hold down the dialogue button, to which the modes we can access within this are Donbrothers mode, individual modes for each Donbrother, and final episode mode. While all the modes retain the same features from one another, the thing differentiating them from each other is their functions with the BGM button, as different tracks will play depending on which mode it's in. They majorly play the same BGM track. To transform with the Donblaster, you have 3 ways. To traditionally transform with the Donblaster, you press the gear down in the gear slot, press the trigger for the transformation callout, spin the large gear 4 times, then press the trigger once again. Alternatively, you can hold the trigger button down and spin the gear once for instant recognition. But note that this method does not actually read the gear you use and defaults to the Donbrother whose mode you are in. Speaking of which mode you are in, the last transformation requires you to press both the dialogue and BGM buttons together to do a forced transformation, which can be cancelled by releasing the gear. For attacks, they change depending on what gears you are using. Avataro gears, you can press the trigger button to get the character cry every 3 presses. You can press the trigger button down and spin the gear to get additional firing attacks. For Alter/Robotaro gears, it plays the associated sounds of that gear in a linear pattern if present. Then to initiate the finisher, just tap the top button on the top and spin the gear up to your preference and press the trigger button to finish it. Lastly, just like the Memorial Zenkaijo line, using any other Avataro/Sentai gears will play the same way as their DX counterparts in any mode. The only difference just being it being played out of a higher quality speaker. It's not even like Zenkaijo's case where the little background noises are present. In that case, special Avataro gears such as the one from the single alongside Zenkaijo's are reduced to playing a generic special sound. It should be noted too that the Avataro Kiwami gear is not changed to its associated sounds. In fact, no Golden Momotaro sounds are present. As it should be noted, Omikoshi Phoenix does not even fit on the top slot anymore. On the flip side though, Donjuro Goku/Toravolt can be read in this version. As a bonus for this review, we will take a look at the King Ultra Robotaro gear that was obtained when pre-ordering this release within its first 3 weeks. Taking a look at the gear, it's in vain to the other prior Robotaro gears, but with King Ultra front and center, and it's numbered as B105. Using this in the Donblaster will play out its appearance from episode 45 in Memorial mode, while playing a unique sound in normal mode. In any DX items for Donbrothers, it's what you expected. Overall, the Donblaster Memorial Edition is another nice release. It retains the playability of the original DX release, but with little touches of show accuracy without it hampering the original experience. If I had to point out flaws, they're basically the same ones I've had with the gear flinger. Mainly, the Senpaijo gears that were used in the show don't have any additional phrases or sounds associated with them, as their sounds are unaltered. For example, using Kakuranger in Inu Brothers mode will not trigger any special sounds and will just play out as whatever it's usually done in that mode. Overall though, despite not being too different in terms of sounds from the DX version, besides the exclusion of unreleased sounds, and if you're a big fan of Donbrothers, I'll recommend it, but I understand that to some people, the additions added to this release are not enough to warrant the purchase. Anyways, that'll have to do with this written review. This is Ryder, and I'll leave you people.